fried eggs and jello. What's up, I'm Zen? What y'all doing? Hopefully it's not too windy here. Because the camera, you see, I got a tripod here, but it sits up pretty high, and if the wind hits it in the wrong way, let me see if I can set this up a little better. I was trying to find a better position than I was. I don't know if there's any better. From my last show, anyways. Okay. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Put my hair all tangled in my glasses. You ever do that? Get your hair tangled up in your glasses? Oh, it's the worst. Yes, my hair is down because I washed it, which I don't do too often. That's why it's so magnificent. My mane. What up, mane? So I thought I'd let it air dry and sun dry today. And I thought this might be a good chance to get into language and the alphabet. I had a bunch of really awesomely, what's the word that people like to use these days? Synchronistic. People love that word in the woke community. I don't want to say woke, but like, you know, synchronistic. It's real. A bunch of things came together of ancient runes and languages, the star languages, and the original letters of the alpha beta. And I've talked about this a long time ago. And interestingly, I haven't watched a Savan Belmar video in years, like in full, I haven't. Because I used to, I probably have seen as many videos of his as anybody on the planet. Because the first 7 or 8 years that he was making stuff, it's like, this is way back before he even wrote the code of the Matrix. And anyway, so I hadn't really been following too much of his stuff lately. And for whatever reason, there was like a course of 2 days where somebody handed me a book on the runes, you know, the Futhark runes and the ancient languages of the Celtic, kind of getting into the ancient Irish origins and all of this, original languages, and what the first letter of the alphabet should be. And it was never A, even though A probably, even though Savan was getting into how A doesn't mean Orak, it means spoke, or like the center point of a wheel, like an axis point. When A is an X, and A is an X. And he's getting all this, and I never got that. That's really heavy stuff. But always the first letter of the alphabet was B. And now you could change that if depending on where you think the system starts at. So the original first letter could be O. Why wouldn't it be? An O is an egg, a 0 is a number before the numbers start. So if O is to X, then B is to P. So if the first letter is not A, it's B, because the B is the birthing mother, and O is the egg, and a P is the projectile penis, wouldn't P be the first letter? Or would the egg, the ovum, be the first letter? But if I say 0, 0 isn't a number, it's a placeholder. See, so you can't say A as the spokes within the wheel, which is the 0, which is the O. So would you? This is like Isisian code stuff. But again, if we look at it, vowels don't count. So A and O don't count. So it's either B or P, and both B and P are connected. Just like B, P, and D. It's look at the letter. Look at a B. Look at a lowercase b, a lowercase p, and a lowercase d. Now, as Savan was talking about, is when you look at other languages, what you'll notice is that letters often take this and start turning. It's like a wheel, or a wheel, like that wheel, the turning of the wheel of the to I don't want to say transliterate, that's not the right word. That they're taking a letter and altering it so you can't see it the same way, to confuse the language. So if I take a B and a P and a D, it is certainly the same letter. All you've done is you've just changed it by 90 degrees. Look at a B. How's it sit? There it is. Then you can just flip it over. You can reflect it because you have reflection in it this way and reflection this way. So you have a 90. You have a reflection up and down and left and right, and then you have also a spinning, which would be a P up here, and then flip it around, and that's a P and a D by the same letter. And if we look at an A, so we have to cancel. I know this is so it may be a lot to take in, but remember that vowels are vowed to you. They don't count in the construct because you don't need any D, N, T's, and L's, dentals, to say any of the A, E, I, O, U. You do that even if I could rip your tongue out, you could still do it. A child can do it. Anyone can say I. So it doesn't. Those are just vowed like nothingnesses. Those are just empty spaces. So therefore, the real language, you'd have to get rid of the vowels. So there's not actually 26 letters in the English alphabet. Get rid of the vowels. How many are there? So you say how you got A, E, I, O, U. So there's 21. Interesting, because if you play blackjack, you get 21. That's the strongest hand you can have. 21. 21 is 3, but 26 is 8. 8 is infinite, so it gets you into a cycle. But if you get rid of the vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, where would you start? You could start after any vowel, but the two most important places to start would be after the A, then you get the B, which is the birth, which is the mother, which is connected to a curvature. If you look at the letter A, it's all, look at it, it's triangle, it's where a B has curve to it. If you look at a P, even a P has a curve to it. So you'd start outside. So the first letter after the vowel. So A, B, C, D. Okay, then E is a vowel. So what would be after E? F. F would be for all of the flags and fornicating and fellatio. I don't know. There's a lot of words to go on. That's an interesting one. I'm playing with this right now with you guys. I'm playing with the F words. The phallic. But that's a PH, but it's the F sound. See, now this is confusing for you because I'm just talking through this, but you guys be the first to listen. So E, F, G, H, I, then J. J is an interesting one because it's a fish hook. So if you look at the letter J, it's like why you get the Fisher King, the Fisher of Men. It's a fishing hook. So what did people come down and do? They came down from the sky as anglers, fishermen, angels, the fishing of men, the Fisher Kings, and they became anglers. So the J was hooking people into something. So that could be another first place holder for a language. Ooh, somebody's playing the piano. Nice. I'm not going to talk. You guys can listen. You can hear? I'm filming you too, so I mean I know I didn't ask. No, I'm just filming myself. I would ask if I were going to. Keep playing, keep doing that, It was so good, Don't be so shy. See, so they set up a piano the other day, and this is just random person playing. Like, I can show you the people that are playing in that do it on the streets, but like this is just some random person, so I'm not gonna put it on camera. Hopefully you can hear it. Don't worry, we'll go back to the alphabet games. Hopefully you guys can hear the music. How dare you stop? Put up a tip jar. People will tip you. Do it. Do it. Okay, where were we on this alphabet game here? Alright, so we were at Element. Okay, did we do? Okay, we got to Elemento. So H-I-I, then you got the J. We got the J, the hook. Okay. H-I-J, K-L-M-N-O, and then we went to the P again. Q-R-S-T-U, that'd be U. And then after that is a V, and a V would be everything about the number 5, physicality. So it'd be the entry point to Venus, to the opposite of A, which still is connected to like a Venusian physical construct. So could that be the first letter? Is V the first letter? So after A you have B, which is birthing, so that could be the first letter, which I think it is. For most cases, I think B is the first letter. But then we go C, D, E, then F, which is that's a flagpole or a phallic type symbol. So that could be, because like, you know, you go to the moon, you put your flag on the moon, there's a lot of symbolism there. But I think the B, because it comes out the womb, is a better first letter. F, G, H, I. After I is a hook, J. I don't know that is still fishing. I still don't think that's as good as the letter B. Still could be a starting point. K, L, M, and O. So O and P are very significant in Isisian codes and a few other coding systems where they use O because it's if you hinge numbers and letters together, that O is a placeholder for both of them, zeros. So you'd just say O. Well, of course it's P. So the P would another placeholder, projectile, punctual. It's pushing something somewhere, which is I think a good starting place. B and P I think are both good starting places for an alphabet. Q, R, S, T, U, and V. V is just an invert of A, so I don't think that's it. I'm gonna go with the starting point for the alphabet is a B or a P, and coding too. A lot of coding. What's up, Melvin?
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
God loves you. Have a blessed and beautiful day today.
You too.
Amen. Thank you.
It is nice today. It's I think it's about 72 right now. I was gonna take the kayak out today, but I figured I'll save it till tomorrow because it's Saturday or later this evening because people will be out. It's Friday night. And on Friday nights on the bayou, people get crazy, and everybody comes out in a kayak, especially in the springtime when it's not too hot. It'll be busy, but I think I'll stay on shore tonight and then go out tomorrow because it's going to be like hotter. I don't care. I want 80 degrees, and I think it's about to be almost 80 tomorrow. And so if you see me playing with my hair a lot, it's because I'm just letting it dry out in the sun. There's my cool. I never knew I had curly hair until I grew it out. I had very straight hair, and now it curls. I don't know. It's not curly, but It's definitely not straight. That short hair? No curls in it. I guess you call it wavy, maybe. You guys want to see this piano? You want to check out this piano they just fucking put out here? Yes, I just said that. Check this out. Look at this cool shit. They just put that out here like 2 days ago. Isn't this beautiful? And no, I can't play it. I can play a couple keys. I can play up a couple chords. Check this shit out, dude. What is that? Is that Etta Jones? No, I can't really tell. Pretty sweet, huh? Yeah, cool. I can play something if no one's around. Hold on. Let's see if we can find something. I can't do it with either. Okay, I'll come back and play with both hands later. It's like I can play with a half a hand. Alright. Anyways. Cool, huh? Boom. Okay, what do you want? Let's get this this alphabet thing again. And as I was saying earlier, there was a bunch of things that happened in the course of a very small period of time that was just, it was too odd for it to occur. Like somehow, you know, when things just, you know, like if I'm just walking around over here and I decide to look in there and I find a penny from 1982. And it has, you know, it has like, and then I walk over there and you just randomly find shit. It's not like there was no directive, you know. It's just like you just come upon it, and that's that synchronicity, right? So a bunch of synchronistic things happened between the runes, some Irish origins things, and just different people at different places, and the strangest things that they would ask me or that I would tell them, and it just made something like, you know, when you're unlocking something and things just and the pins just fit together, and just out of nowhere, like it was the strangest day and the most beautiful day. Like 6 people have this fucking like run into these couple people and somebody calls me at the prom, and then like 4 other people have the solution for the problem the person had. It was really, really interesting. I was like, oh man, I don't know what to. And then next person I talked to, I was like, oh, there's the solution for the person's problem that just popped to me 10 seconds ago. So alphabets, the codes and the how to unlock a lock. You know, what's been locked? Why would it be locked? Is there a back door to it? Is there a master key? What is the master key to the universe? I mean, there's a book called The Master Key. I always find, and I know there's learning styles, but I really think and feel like learning through listening is the highest form. That visual learning can occur, obviously, and reading, but audible, because it's balancing your brain through these 2 things. And it's because it literally, if you don't have your ears, you don't have balance. When the sound is off, you will not balance yourself. It's more important to have both of your ears available for you to have balance. You'd figure it'd be like eyesight or like all of your toes, or, you know, yeah, it's ears. So, well, so my point would be to not read that book. I think reading is not as high a form as speaking, because every child can learn to speak, but not every child is interested in reading something. I mean, reading is great. And language is what we use, but language never has to be written. There's a certain ancient thing. It's called mouth to ear. Mouth to ear. It's storytelling. The storytellers never wrote anything down. And why? Because that was the key to it. Because if they wrote it down, then someone could spend all day and decode it. But if I hold the knowledge, then why would I ever write it down? Why everybody wants me to write a book? Write this. I'm like, I'm speaking it. Just listen. Figure it out. You can do it. You can do it on your own. You don't need to like map it out and start scribbling on paper and doing shit. That's just that's just a second. That gets in the way of your mind being able to use the imaging system that's already in place. So say your third eye. Let's just say it that way. So if you can dream at night and you can get out of body and you're lucid and you can, while you see something during the day, you can see behind what's there. Like you can see like who built the bricks. I mean, because you're going to think about it and you can image that. And I could see someone and how they built that. And I could see how that shit is. That's what I'm talking about. So if I hand you a pen and pencil, you're going to disassociate from how your mind functions. You don't need all that. When you go through the process of death and rebirth, as Dan Winter said so clear to everyone, the only reason you're living is to bring memory through death. And as I said, as if you listen to my early work, I would always say, you don't get to bring a book bag and a pen and a piece of paper with you. That's like, you don't get that. You have to have it here. The knowledge is there. So therefore, when the ancient storytellers, those the teachers, they were the storytellers because they held the knowledge. It was in them. So from mouth to ear is how everything was done. As soon as you put something down on paper, you're spell casting. As soon as you chisel something into a stone, that stone is holding the tones of that image and projecting it into this reality. So if I chisel something into a stone, it's going to keep vibrating that sound that you can't quite hear, but it's going to keep pushing that there. So why do you think it is that people go to Kaaba, to go to they go around Mecca, and they go to the ancient pyramids and Giza, and people go to these certain places because it's a, I don't want to say pernicious. It's a sound that's being produced from there. Just because you can't hear it audibly, it's doing something, right? But just the same, people will travel from hundreds and thousands of miles to see a person because that person is an animated version of a temple. If I chisel everything into a rock, that it becomes a pyramid structure and it has all of these images and shit on it, people will come for millennia and lifetimes, but it's still spitting that energy, that sound out that you can't quite hear, but it is a sound. But then there's people that are living, walking, breathing, that are temples of God, of the being, of self, of everything. They're walking around and people will come and find them. Why do you think musicians exist? What do you think they're doing? I love it. It says there's one person here for this conversation. What's up, Christopher Lee? What's up, Branches? University binary names for everything. Maybe everything has a universal name. We just haven't. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to put. Go look up Savan's recent one. It was really. This was the thing. I hadn't listened to Savan, and I have fucking no idea why I even chose to look at and watch the whole video, because I watched little bits and pieces of his stuff. But two days prior, a friend of mine just called me. He lives in my building. Calls me out random. He's like, "Hey, come over. Let's smoke something, whatever." And he just starts asking me about something, and for whatever reason, I had a book on the runes in my bag, and I started telling him about ancient star languages and the runes, and then a day later, Savan posts this thing about language, the Futhark runes, and the coding of language, and I was like, and this was just, and those are two major points. There was like 4 other crazy things that happened in like even why I have the book, because 3 days prior to that, someone just handed me the book. They're like, hey, I'm cleaning my house out, and here's a book with your name on it, and here's the other one that like I already read it. You know, it was just really interesting. Branches, that was used to categorically come up with the sound for each thing based on invisible system you don't know yet. Yes. Well, I mean, the system seems to be somewhat dealing with cymatics and the stars, and you know, in the beginning there was the word, so the word is the sound. So it seems like here's the dilemma with the whole, in the beginning there was the word, in the beginning there was the sound. Well, what was making the sound? What was making the word? It's a pretty simple answer. You are. So if you emit the sound, you can instead of emitting it, you can put it in. So let me spit the sound out here like a bird does. I can just put it inside, like I can say "om," but I can do that in my head and still hear it and still vibrate it through my entire system. So that's like how you could talk to somebody through telepathy, telekinesis kind of shit. You know, telepathy is if I think it enough, and if I think it strong enough in my head, it will vibrate through my system and it will connect with who should hear it. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? I'm giving away the whole thing again. If you're tuned into the same frequency and radio station, 97.9. Okay, let's just use that as an example. And I put this frequency out there. If it's that, and you're tuned in the same thing, you'll hear exactly what I'm telling you. So whenever you think you can hear someone's thoughts, of course you can. But your body, most people's bodies are resonating at such a low level. It's like if you were to take a crystal and put it in a murky, mucky water, like that has just, so it muffles the sound. You won't be able to hear it. But if you pull that out and put it in clean water, and that crystal is magnifying its frequency modulation and its amplitude, and then you'll see the lake. It will start to, you'll see the vibrations off it. You can't do that in murky, sloppy water. So when people are at very low, dense levels, they can't hear the shit. And then once you do, you wake up a little bit. So you're up. Your wake is up. See, wake is like a term for water, right? It's also a term for death, but so you wake up, and what happens? You modulate at a different frequency. And so if you know that this happens, as soon as it happens at first, you go, oh, am I crazy? Am I hearing voices? Like, yeah, of course you are. Everyone hears voices, but some are demonstrative and lower level beings, and some are higher level beings. But when you first can absorb it, you just go, well, that's crazy. Once you do all the time, then you can see it in visions and in dreams, because you're working the realm of the volume of speaking and the tones that you hear are, think of it in the terms of, if you were to look at how radio waves and how TV, what would you see on the TV? Radio waves are giving you sound. The frequencies that give you the colors are of higher value. This is why some people can't dream, because their frequency is too low. They can hear sounds, but they can't see the vision, right? So once you start to be able to clarify and see things, it's because you're vibrating at a different realm. So you could actually, so how do you think it is that we went from listening to radio to looking at black and white TV to looking at color TV, then to looking at LCD, and then looking at, because that was the vibration that was coming out of, like that was part of the system. Like, so you think it's a bad idea to go watch a LCD, a liquid crystal display television? There's plenty of good information on there. I just watched what did I see yesterday? It was it was a Philip K. Dick one. 2049. What the hell is the name? Anyways, one is the frequencies, and that they gave it. They're telling you in the channels that you get channels on the TV. They're telling you that you get it in radio frequencies. So the modulation of amplitude and a frequency is the biggest thing, and then you go from there to what's up? Let me see what's up in here. What's up, Eustace? What's up, Melissa? What up, Hood? Oh, it's been a little bit. Is it already a new day? As far as I know, it's just right now. happy April Smart Day. See, all you gotta do is change it. It's not Fools. It's April Brilliant Day, because it is pretty brilliant outside. We'll see if we can get the sun back out. So I mean, think about it. Everybody in this community knows that the sun changed colors. Remember, it used to be yellow, and now it's absolutely bright white. Everyone in this community knows that. Why? Did the sun change color, or did your perception of it change? Could be a combination of both, I assume. I don't think, as most people, that everything is internal and you're projecting it. I think that happens to quite a degree. Your perception is everything, but certainly that exists there. You know, it does. Could I change that? Could I alter it? Could I really immediately do that and turn that into melty, and I could stick my hand through it? Probably. If you gave me the if you gave me the right drugs, I probably could do that. But then I'd have to deal with the consequences of why are you melting this building right now? I gotta just see. Can you hear the birds and smell? Can you see? That's the thing. What is it up with the smell-o-vision? Anybody want? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about smell-o-vision right now? So we can broadcast through the airwaves sights and sounds. So sights are at a very high frequency, right? Do you want to give me anybody want to break this down between sights, sounds, and smells, and where they sit on the Hertz graphing charts? And then colors, so you got the sights that you see, the sounds that you hear. We can put that on, and we can project that to you. But why not smell? What's going on there? It should already, why they always talk about it, smell-o-vision. Why not? And when you look at all of the really interesting movies about holograms and stuff, well, holograms can become basically as real as anything else. How would you know the difference? If it vibrated to a certain frequency, it would become physical. Right? Here's how to change realms. How do you vibrate differently? Consume different, think different, breathe differently. Adjust what you think, clarify your values. Look at this. I'll show you. Let me show you something really cool. Watch. Change things. You want to see how easy it is to have a happy day? Let me show you. As soon as I said that, I'll show you. Check it out. Boop. Have a happy day. See? See how quickly you can manifest reality? You just think you're not doing that. I think that's a dilemma for most people. They haven't had enough experiences where they're actually, like, you have an experience sometimes where, like, oh my gosh, that just showed up because I was thinking about it. Well, of course it did. What do you think happens? But then because it doesn't happen all the time, because you have 60 different thoughts, you'll forget that you're doing a good part of the work. Everything else is just delivered to you. It's like the universe is a God, the devil, the universe. They work in I want to say God and devil work in tandem to give you a physical realm, but you control that. You architect and manifest that through thought processes. They'll say, like, if you get a delivery, you didn't have to do anything. I mean, think about it. If you get on Amazon, all you had to do was hit a button, and it just shows up. So when you think something, that's basically hitting the button. What do you think people did before that? You know, how did they get things? Oh, they had to carve it themselves. No, I don't think so. That's you're maybe missing part of the point here. Things come to people. People are either magnetic, mostly, or electric, mostly. Both have their values, but magnetic people, things are drawn to them. Why? Because they expect and they assume and they put an energy out there that brings things to them. It's like being in one sense, like a black hole. I will take that. That's mine. I will have that. Thank you. Not to realize that it's going to come back out on the other side and people get it back anyways. Yeah, high tech. I mean, high technology is whatever humans are. I think that you have, just as we've been told, is you have carbon and silica beings, and then you have some hybrid of cross species of carbon and silica, right? I mean, look at all the movies. Look at you have the people that got re-sleeved. You got the people that got like the new bodysuit, like they're half human, half artificial, but they're not artificial. It was just like there's older beings that were made out of different things. And so like now we're dealing with carbon creatures, but are you sure that you're carbon? Have you taken your carbon footprint? Are you sure you're not silicon? Are you a silicon creature? Or to say hybridized? Like that's like the story of remember those the chick and the guy that were two warring factions, and they fell in love, and the one gave the other the thing to make her go to sleep, and then what's the story? What if one of them was silicon creature and the other was carbon creature, but they fell in love, but their lineage was like, nah, you can't bind that. And so I was watching Blade Runner 2049, and what had happened was that somehow a silica-based creature and a carbon-based creature created a next being, which is not supposed to happen because they're different species apparently. But don't worry, we can go into a bunch of like we get into the human race thing and human racism, because like I like racism I can't even understand. I can understand human racism, like if you're not human, like I can understand like why people have perhaps an aversion to say I don't know, a lion, because even though they never met one, they look kind of dangerous. But then again, I've seen more people play with lions than I have get mauled by them. I've seen more people play with elephants than claim their tusks. I wonder if elephants are from Tuscany. Oh yeah, Divine, of course. We've had better. Melissa, 852, 741. Yes. These I think are correct as far as I can tell. 639 is not green. No, wait, maybe 852 is the purple. 741 is blue. 639 is green, heart, lungs. Nah, 630. Wait, 528. You messed me up here because 528 without question is sitting there on my arm. 528 is green. 528 is middle C. 528 is absolutely the heart chakra. Middle C, heart chakra. So like I don't know. That might be. Let me look at that again. No, I think 639 is purple. See, this is where people. This is where you gotta really quadruple up your. You gotta quadruple up your research because you know how many times you read a book and then you read another book and all it is just mimic that page without actually qualifying the research. So I've seen how the systems were broke down by 10 different teachers and only one of them did the math. And so what I'm sure of is that middle C on a piano, you can start around 432 or 528. And it's still going to be in the color green because the octaves, if you mathematically plot out the octaves, then when you get into the color green, it will line up with C, which will line up with the smell of wintergreen. So that I have. I can't do the math off the top of my head because I'm not fucking Rain Man over here. I'm not a high level autistic savant. I'm a low level fart sniffer. Which I think is a good thing because most people are probably high level fart sniffers. Give me a moment here, yeah. Let me pour myself a beverage. Maybe take this over to the geeses and the swan. You guys want to watch something really cool happen? There's one swan in this entire giant, one of the most giant parks in the country, right? There's one swan that exists. Well, there's two, but I don't know where the other one is. If I walk somewhere, it will be there, without question. Yeah, it's kind of at the same place right now, but I can go to many parts of the water. So man, I haven't drank vodka in quite a few days, and it's quite the nice buzz. Giggly goo. All right. So where are we at? Okay, so the technology, obviously it's written in all of the names of the cities that we know. And there was technology within language. So like A to Z, Aztec, it's technology of language. And if you get into what is her name? She did a thing on the 4 root races, the 7 secondary races, and then the Helena Blavatsky. She broke it down to where well, no, it wasn't her. It was somebody else that did it. They were talking about the different from the Americas, the different roots of where, like who the Mayan, who the Aztec, who the all the different tribes and what they were doing in the form of what kind of technologies they're bringing. And so the Aztecs were supposedly the technology of language. But yeah. And so yeah, better technology, obviously. But what did that better technology bring us eventually? What did the better technology do? Or was it the people using it? Like at what point do you, if you have a magic wand to just correct all mistakes? Would you just always correct the mistakes, or would you allow a mistake to be continually made? And at what point do you go, all right, that's enough? And so, if we look at technology and where it is with cars, like let's look at it very simple. A car is made all weird. Like there's no reason there should be the wheels the way they are, and the running out of gas, and the way the seats are, they're not comfortable. Like it doesn't, it's running out all sorts of, like it's not a healthy situation. But that's a technology, and we're continuing to use it. Where, like why? And they keep redoubling down their efforts. And as I will always explain this. Oh, I think this chick's about to play piano, so I'm gonna listen here. As far as you can go back, for decades upon decades, we got about 20 some miles a gallon. There really hasn't been much of an improvement. You'd figure they could learn how to use fuel better, but because they know it doesn't come from dinosaur bones, and it didn't come from like oil that isn't replenished itself, just like the water system does. They know how that works, but they'll tell you it comes from dead dinosaurs, and they make you pay way more money for something that they could make it more, I don't know, like instead of, it could cost like a nickel for a gallon, and instead of that gallon getting you 20 miles, it could get you 100. They could do that. They have the ability to. They just refuse to do it because it keeps you enslaved to the system of how far, how fast, and what you want to do. I'll just wait here until anybody shows up. I'll take a little cat nap here. What do you think? It's my favorite thing right now. There's there's four old ladies on these benches here. There's me, grandma, and there's two grandmas and another grandma down there. It's pretty cozy, and no one else. So apparently Friday at two no, it was like 3 o'clock now. Friday at 3, that's where we hang. Anyway, feel free to type something in, because I need motivation to speak about something. We can get back into the language thing. Language is the technology as the original tool. What came before that? That's a difficult question. That would be way too much to get into. You can give me some softball pitches. We can talk about why I'm the burp god. And how to fuel, how arcs or cars are fueled and lubricated properly, and why do I have soft, supple skin and I consume as much alcohol as I do, which should be drying me out, but it doesn't. We can talk about a lot of different things. You know, pick a start with a letter. Think about it, just do this in your head. Just give yourself a letter like D, and then think of like dinosaurs, or C, and you crocodiles, or dinosaurs are crocodiles, or maybe like J word, janky. Well, if ain't nobody gonna say shit, I'm gonna dip, take a piss, I'll come back. Alright, well, I guess no one's saying anything, so I don't really have a spark of motivation right now, so I'm gonna dip out of here, and I'll remind everyone here, you are welcome to donate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. I'm trying to do laundry. It is spring cleaning time, so feel free to donate to me so I can get my laundry done. I don't have to wear tiny little shirts because I'm a giant human being, barely human, and definitely giant. Not like I'm not like a fatso or something, but and I got laundry to do. So if you want to, feel free, donate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. It's TSAR, capital XEN, in the description box. And more importantly, take care of yourself. Put your oxygen mask on first, and be well, be good, and then when you can, take care of others. Make sure they're doing well. It's a recycling of energy. You give a little bit, and everything becomes a little stronger when two people are working with it. You ever notice that? If you take one stick and it can hold 1 pound, and you take another stick that holds 1 pound, if you put them together, it can hold 3 pounds. If you take 3 sticks that hold 1 pound, and you put them together, it can hold 10 pounds. Crazy, right? That's a fact. So somehow, when you put things together, it becomes stronger. So stay cool. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bang bang. Toodles.